If you want to make sample beats in FL Studio, this video is for you. So I'm going to guide you step by step through the process. The first thing is getting the right samples. So join us on Discord. It's discord.gg/BusyWorksBeats. We have an entire section with hip hop samples from all of the classic hip hop albums from Dr. Dre, Kanye West, on, MF Doom, etc., Jay Dilla, and more. Okay, so I'm going to drag this sample called Trevor Dandy, and we're going to grab the drums from this sample. So when you separate your sampling as drums, looking for drums, and then looking for a musical part, sampling becomes a little bit easier because now you're not trying to do everything from one sample. So firstly, hip hop is defined by combining two different samples. We're going to just drag the sample into the playlist. The reason I do this, it's a lot easier to chop and move stuff around. Let's grab this slice tool, hit Shift-Alt to do a vertical slice, and we're going to slice right at the downbeat and just drag the audio to the left. Don't worry about time stretch right now. So turn off your metronome. Now we're just going to listen to the song mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and slice. Okay, so hit Shift-Alt and slice right at the end of that 2-bar section in this case. It could be 1 bar, 2 bars, 4 bars. Now let's click in the top left. Let's go to Make Unique as Sample. This is really important because in order for time stretch to work, we have to have it as its own sample. So now when I double click in here, it only shows the part that we have highlighted. It won't show the rest of the song. Okay, so let's double click mode, switch this to stretch mode, and left click your time knob until it locks into the nearest bar. And now we can change out the BPM. So what I'll do to make this faster is I'll lock it into 2 bars and then lower our BPM. So by default, it's at 140. I like it at 88 BPM. You could highlight this now, hit Control B to latch paste. Now let's find a sample that has the musicality. So now I'm trying to find something without heavy drums. Even if it does have heavy drums, FL Studio has a new update where we can remove the drums. We're just trying to find a vibe. So let's click around for a sec. I'm going to go to a different folder and pick samples. I think this one had a dope sample. It's this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is drag this into the playlist. I like to keep the playlist as my idea board until I start arranging the idea. So firstly, I'm going to skip around the sample to find the section that sounds cool. Using the playhead up top. So like that. Doo. So whenever I hear a part and it's not the downbeat, I'll go back a little bit until I can count the music into the downbeat. Very important when you chop. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's count that out. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. So it goes tum, 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 1, 2, 3. Okay, so listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and slice. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and slice. 2. Okay, so that's how you count music. It's very important you count the music before you start slicing. If you slice before you count, your stuff will always sound offbeat. Okay, so what we'll do now is click in the top left, go to Make Unique as Sample, and we'll just name this sample. Do it again. Now, usually it keeps the sample name loaded up. So in this case, I'm just making these, but it's best you actually name it the record that you're sampling so you don't forget what record you sampled this from. Let's take all these, hit Shift Q to quantize. So right now, the second sample is not lined up to the grid. I'm going to hit Shift Q to quantize. Shout out to Infinite for showing me that. So once we have it saved, let's double click, go to mode, stretch mode. We're going to go to the time knob and lock that to the nearest bar. Okay, this is because we want this to time stretch to our BPM. So now that it's time stretched, we can now go back to the beginning, turn on our drums. So let's say you wanted to add your own bass. I think the bass sounds fire in this one. So I'm going to make this unique so that I can mess with it. Not unique as a sample, just different from this other one so that we can go on the top left and extract stems from sample. I'm going to extract everything just so you guys can see it. So the longer the sample, the longer this takes. I would not recommend it for anything over like a couple bars because one time it just took like forever for it to extract. Okay, so when you extract, you're going to have to time stretch back to the tempo. So we have drums in the sample. which I didn't even hear that part of the sample. Then we have the bass. And then we have the instruments. So now you can arrange these. So what we need to do first is double click. Actually, a quicker way to do this when you have multiple samples, go to Tools, go to Macros, and go to Switch all audio clips to real-time stretch. That will save you the step of time stretching each sample, but you still need to tell it how long to be. So double click in the sample, go to the time knob, and lock it to the nearest bar. So just double click, go into your time knob, lock that to the nearest bar, double click, same thing here, time knob, lock it to the nearest bar. Now these are all time stretched. Before it was not time stretched. So now we can listen to these with our drums. And this is how you can arrange your sample. So for the first time in history, we've never been able to do this natively in FL Studio. Now we can, bring in the bass over time. So for example, if you wanted to arrange this quickly, let's just have the sample without the bass and without the drums. Now we're going to bring in the bass. This is filthy, man. FL Studio just leveled up. If you guys want to learn FL Studio, go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. I have tons of project files. I have tons of sounds for you. Join our Discord. I'm going to leave all these links below. We have a new Beatmaker Blueprint course and sound package for you. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/Beatmaker. There's a lot more detail there. This is crazy. Super easy. I mixed the beat just a little bit, so let's play it once through. Just crazy. That's what you could do in FL Studio. If you want to learn more, just go to busyworksbeats.com/beatmaker. I'll see you there. Peace out, guys.